It's a Halloween one. You gotta scare people at the start of it.
Jump scare.
If I say the jump scare will come, but not yet. You will get it when you least expect it. What's up, everybody? This is our next episode of Nerding Out. Sorry we didn't have one last week, but we had Larger Than Life 2022. Louder Than Life. I got kicked
It is larger than life, though.
I got kicked in the face. My brain's a little off right now. So, but yes.
That wasn't even at the concert.
Right? That was like in the parking lot. Some dude was just like, yeah. No. Yeah, so we were at Louder Than Life, and we went all 4 days, and we needed a little bit of a rest because, my God, you Rob Zombie fans know how to party. And
Also, don't shy away from this. You got kicked in the face because you bitched out when it came to the crowd surfing and tried to run.
No. So
I agree with that 100%.
You turned your back to him.
Crowd surfing's terrible.
I didn't turn my back to him. I looked forward to see where we were. I've never been in these like crowd surfing, like crowd before. So I looked forward to see where he was going, and then whenever I looked back, I just see this boot go, phew.
See, I like getting the group of people that's like, no, we don't want to crowd surf. So they'll just stand there. And then when the people come in, when they get ready to get handed, they just make a hole and you just drop and hit the ground. And they're like, all right, well, we're not going that way no more. They just go around you.
Well, we kind of had that because like there was this grouping of girls that was to the front left of us, and
You were included.
well, yeah, but like they were shorter than me, and so all these guys were around these girls, and they were trying to lift them up and get them away. But you had this little patch where you see these little hands going like,
And they weren't tall enough.
trying
So
to
it
get.
create momentum as soon as they get to him.
So I went to the first Loud in Life. And then I was like a group of 3 people who was trying to get up to the front because Judas Priest was the headliner the first night. And we was going, and we got in this group of like 3 small girls, and they were like just super ungodly, like Karens. And they just started blah, 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 and wouldn't let us like move, and they would just keep trying to cut us off. And I was like, the 4 other guys I was with, and I wasn't with them, we were just moving in the crowd. They just all like, you ready? Yep. And they just picked them up and just threw them behind us, and then we just moved forward. I was like, that's the greatest thing ever.
Oh my God.
Just put them up and start crowd surfing. They don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah. But they went that way. Like, they literally told everyone, was like, hey, we'll send them back. And they just all got sent back.
Bye.
It's being taken by their hands.
You assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we actually watched a girl
The start of a horror movie there.
face
It's
plant.
like the hands take you.
So we were in the gravel part of it all. So like there was a guy that was walking around. It was pitch dark because it was like the second to last one. And this guy was like, excuse me, I dropped my phone, excuse me. And I'm like, you're using your phone with the flashlight on it to try and find your phone.
He was hot.
It probably was. But like there was this blanket, and I'm sure that it had smallpox in it. Blanket. But like he was trying to get into it, and he's like trying to bend down, and I'm just like, dude, there's too many people crowd surfing right now for you to be like,
Well, at that point, we
Someone
were.
should have helped him get in the blanket and then throw him in the crowd surf with the blanket. Oh, God. Oh.
shit, okay.
He's just sleeping. He's like,
At that point, though, we were legit like dick to butt.
Yeah.
Pretty much smushed at that point, so there was no moving around.
But yeah, we found a girl, like, she was crowd surfing, and I guess she hit that point where there was nobody there to really help. And so she was going head first towards the front of the crowd, and she turned and went right into the gravel. And I looked
Face
down and I was like,
first.
oh. It's like, you okay? And she just goes like, and it took about a couple minutes, and then she was like, I was like, are you wanting back up? I was like, okay. We'll get you back up there.
I hate crowd surfing.
It took away from the show itself. Like I was too busy like trying to figure out where to take these people to see it.
Well, because I think it was almost 30 people we had to deal with. Like it was at one point there was 5 people in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah,
5.
they
It was worse
clashed.
with Metallica. It was so
Yeah.
It was a constant every second was like someone else. So like literally we found that group of people that was like we just made literally a 6-foot hole around us, and we had like a nice big, so like you literally would see people coming our way and they're like, oh, go, and they would go around us.
It's like there was a guy that was starting to just like grab people's shirts and pull them a certain way because there were too many trying to go down the middle, and he was like, nope, you're coming this way. Be like, what the fuck, man? It's like, well, you know what? I can only hold up one person at a time. So if you want to go down, then sure, come over this way. But that's why we didn't have an episode last week, because we were kind of
Y'all got to
worn
see
out.
Tenacious D, and I did.
We did get to see Tenacious D, and that crowd was, I think, much larger one that they anticipated, because they put them on one of the smaller ones. And I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. And like, if you turn, we weren't even that real close to it, but like, if you turned around to see like how far back it went, like there were food, like, you know, tents in the back, and like supposed to be like a little area of walking so you could get to like refill your water, see all the art that they had and everything. And that was packed, and it was going all the way back to the food. And I was like, y'all done messed up by putting Tenacious D on one of the smaller ones.
I'm surprised they put him on a smaller one.
Yeah, it's like, well, because they were the same time as Bring Me the Horizon. So unfortunately, Bring Me the Horizon was going to beat out them just because of the band.
The last 3 years, Bring Me the Horizon's been on a smaller stage.
Well, they got this year, yeah. So apparently Tenacious D got the boot, and
then we had to leave early that night, wasn't it? Or was it?
That was 9 Inch Nails night. You saw y'all miss 9 Inch Nails?
We missed 9 Inch Nails.
That's a damn shame. That's the only one. Like Tenacious D and 9 Inch Nails is the only ones I wanted to see that night.
Yeah, they started at like 9 o'clock that night, so we didn't get to see it. But we were going to see, oh my God, what was? Oh, Shinedown, and then I forget who it was supposed to be that night. That was the big one.
Slipknot.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
but we had to go
to
to Indianapolis that next morning. So we were driving up that night so that we could just be in Indianapolis, because we had to get up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So it is what it is. We'll be going next year. Hopefully we'll be big enough on this channel to where we can actually like go in and do things, because there was a group of people that were on a stage that were doing like a podcast and stuff like that. And I know that was like DW Presents, and I'm sure that they're really big from what I understand, but like maybe we could get in there a little bit, because that would be fantastic.
We're going to be just like that one dude that was at Clutch, and in this moment, he actually somehow snuck in a GoPro and a stick too. I don't know if he had it down his pants or what, but
yeah. But if you noticed,
you don't want to know where he had it.
If you notice, though, they did have somebody that they dragged out during Alice Cooper, I think, maybe. That went.
Did he have all his stuff on stage, or did he just play?
He had all his stuff on stage, and
he was the best performance so far.
Every single song that he had, he was in a different costume. And then, like at one point, he put the what are they? The straps around him, the insane asylum straps and everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy crap! Like, he is actually going all out on his, and he was probably the best one out of them all.
Yeah, no, I've seen him at the boat. I can't tell you how many times.
Candy. So going on a tangent on Louder Than Life, I'm going to talk while I'm eating.
You mean Larger Than Life?
Great into our next topic.
That's actually true.
Yes.
Because he is the king of nightmares. So it's Halloween month, and we don't just celebrate Halloween on the 31st. We celebrate it all month long. We are going to be playing horror games. Horror games. I've got a list of ones to play, and it's probably going to be me playing them mostly, because I'm the one that reacts the most whenever getting scared. But we'll see. We got Phasmophobia.
We're actually mean you played Resident Evil 5. Not because it's scary, just because it's
Resident Evil. So I mean, technically, it's
just worth everybody seeing you suck at hot, quick button reactions. Amber, no!
It's true. And no, I don't want them to see how really bad I am at those the quick time events.
And I just want to yell Shiva at you like 6 times in a row. Shiva!
Going
Shiva,
down that hallway
Shiva.
where you have the liquors and you're not supposed to make a noise. It's like, Shiva! Just have them come at me.
Ooh, are we playing Left 4 Dead then too?
Mm-hmm. Left 4 Dead's on the list. Phasmophobia is on the list. They just had a huge update on that.
I know it's kind of controversial because it's not been the best, but we should still try Back for Blood just one point to see what happens. It's happened since it came out.
So anyway, when we kick Nathan off this podcast...
I'm sorry. If you all are fans of Back for Blood...
I don't think anybody is a fan of that game. It's just like kind of died already. Like it died within the first week release.
Yeah, so because it's...
Yeah, like we got burnt out because of some of the mechanics on the game, so it was just like I'd much rather play Left 4 Dead than Back for Blood. So Left 4 Dead's probably going to be the one that we pick. But Phasmophobia, there is some...
We make special rules for us playing Left 4 Dead though, for just Amber.
No
scaring witches.
I was going to say, is it hindering me from having fun?
No picking up the gnome.
Oh, but Nomi has to make it to the end.
I'm okay with Nomi.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm not okay with like, hey, look, there's this witch. Boom.
Or you see me running ahead and then you see me turning back around and coming the other way and not saying a word about it, but you probably know it's because there's a tank.
First of all, it's never that you don't say a word.
That's right.
There's balls.
Yep. Just running through the crowd is like, nope, don't go that way. Sorry, guys. But there's another one that I want to try. I've seen a couple of streamers who have played this game. Did I say it was Devour? I think it was the name of it. It's where you
Yeah.
play as these cultists that are trying to get some books and burn them. But if there's like 7 books or something like that, and the more you burn, the more the monsters are active. So there's one that is in this like Deadwood town, and there's this guy that looks like Mr. X, but he's got like a cowboy hat on. And
You're basically describing Nazis.
The
monsters
Nazi
call
games.
the Allied forces. Like, we're burning books and the monsters come for us. Literally, Nazis had book burnings, massive ones in cities, and then the Allied forces came and
Okay.
attacked them.
okay,
There's monsters, yeah.
I can't. It's got a bunch of books. Yeah, I can't change
Those assholes.
I can't change the plot, so unfortunately, that is the plot. But like, there's these ghosts that run around, and if you touch a book and you don't burn it immediately, they can grab the books and run with it. So like, yeah. So it's kind of fun. I've seen a lot of people playing it. It looks pretty cool. But we got that one, and then there's a 1-player game that I'd like to play, and it's the Mortuary Assistant. And that one is where you actually own.
All those stuff.
You have to embalm them, but what you find out throughout the whole game is that
Don't give away stuff. Plot. Just, I mean, because it's a really good game, and it really need to. If you want to experience it, you need
there's
to play it.
demons, Jim. That's
Yes.
all I'm gonna say.
It's a good story for like a random little game.
You know what I wish was happening that we could redo for this podcast? Was the Slender Man hunt that we went and did.
Oh my god, I was actually thinking about that the other day
Like,
because
that was actually a really good concept. Like, one of the best haunted houses that like experiences was you get a small shitty like $2 gas station flashlight, and it's you and one other person. You go in the woods in the darkness, and you have to find all the pages for Slender Man where he comes and attacks you.
and they have a bunch of people dressed up as Slender Man, so you'd like that they can be at anywhere at any given time. There was one point where we were in a building. We were
Like
trying.
a bathroom, right? Like a locker room slash
Yeah,
bathroom.
because we hid behind a door at one point. Like me and one of our friends, her boyfriend went with us, and then it was you, me, and those two, because everyone else chickened out. But we were hiding behind the door, and her boyfriend walked straight through it, and you see Slender Man go in the door like, oh, I saw which way he was going, and as soon as he walked out that door, we were like, wham, slammed the door shut behind him. We were like, get the page, run, go the other way.
It was so good.
It was so much fun, and I wish they would have done more of that stuff, because like you've got Universal Studios, they do their stuff.
Hollywood Horror Nights.
Yeah, Hollywood Horror Nights. I've done that one time, and Walking Dead caught on fire, so we had to leave. We had Resident Evil, Walking Dead, and there were a couple of other real big ones. There were 5 real big ones. And when we were super excited, we went that year because of the Resident Evil one, and they were supposed to have Nemesis there. We were walking out. It had finished. You had like friggin' Leon was on the top of a cop car, and he was like, come on, guys, we gotta go this way. And the rest of it wasn't scary at all because Nemesis was on lunch break. So he wasn't in the building. And so
News is hungry.
we were
Starved.
gold star. Like we were walking out of the building like, well, that was a pretty big letdown. And here he comes. And we were like, oh, hey, Nemesis. And in his costume, he goes like, boom. And then just keeps walking.
He sounds like with his mask off, he's just eating a burger. And you're like, Nemesis? He's like,
So we were like, okay, well, I guess that's a pretty big letdown. So why don't we go to The Walking Dead? We were in line for a good hour. And then we see all these people coming the opposite way of the line. And they were like, you guys gotta go, you gotta go. And we were like, no, we've been in this line for like an hour. We're not going anywhere. And they were like, no, it's on fire. And I was like, all right, buddy. And so we move a little bit further.
I'm a daughter of a firefighter. I'm not scared of no fire.
I don't smell no fire. So guess what? It doesn't exist. So we're sitting in line for another 5 minutes, and more people come out, and then like the actual crew comes out, and they're like, yeah, guys, there's a fire in here, so we can't let you go in. And I was like, this Halloween Horror Nights is turning out to be a shitty Halloween. Like, I am now depressed. I didn't get to see Nemesis in all of his glory until the very end, where he had Burger King.
Him eating lunch would be all of his glory, I feel like. Like, how also would it, like, in the movies, Resident Evil, all the zombies go in there and he just starts eating food. He's like,
Man's gotta eat.
he's like, we don't need brains. We make food.
They're the zombies, not me.
Yeah.
Don't you see the McDonald's down the road?
Yeah. Who doesn't love golden arches?
Like, if you get a McDouble, you get another one for $1.
He's like, bum, 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 bum. I'm loving it.
That's great. So yeah, it's like we're gonna be doing some Halloweeny stuff. Unfortunately,
and also another game I'm going to announce that we're going to play.
yeah, sure, because they
Cell
can see
phone.
that.
Midnight Ghost Hunt. I'm going to
We
play
should
that.
get like the Friday the 13th game and play that. But Amber can never be the killer.
You don't want me to be, because I've actually watched people play that.
Oh, God.
And there's this group of people that are real big on Twitch and everything. That Djibouti. Oh my God,
Djibouti
Mike.
Dubs.
Yeah, Djibouti Dubs.
That's them. They do Twitch all the time.
And then like the other guy that they play that plays Merlin in the
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but yeah.
but like all these other people, like real big streamers, they play that, but they are acting as the character. So you have the guy that's like got the sweater and he's tied and everything. He's like, oh, I don't need to run because I'm rich. I'll just pay someone to get me a car. And they're doing all that stuff. But this girl who has this super high voice played Jason in it, but she can speak Japanese. So at one point she comes through the door and she
Bust through.
Konnichiwa! And like they keep like hitting her and they're like, oh my God, run. And then you hear her go like,
Oh, Jason, come on.
it's so weird with it coming out of Jason's body. So like,
You be a little Asian girl coming out of Jason's body?
I'm Jason. I'm here to kill you, stupid Americans. So yes, that's how I would play. It's either that or Dead by Daylight. But the problem with Dead by Daylight is if you
terrible
play with
Valentine.
people online, you get so many campers in there that'll just sit there like the killer, if you're not the killer, will get somebody, put them on the hook, and then just stand there by the hook being like, come on, try and take them off the hook. There's no way you're going to take them off the hook. It's like, well, no shit, because you're standing right there. You're going to kill me.
So what we're going to do is just play that in real life at a golf course. We just all get GoPros.
In a golf course, they're going to be like, what are you doing on a golf course? It's like, don't worry about it. Run! Making content.
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh.
It's like, God, what do you think we're doing?
Yeah. We're trying to get more followers on Instagram.
How do you think I ordered the sweater?
Oh, God. Take the golf cart. So we're going to be playing some really cool games. Since you can't really watch movies unless you do like one of those like Amazon watch movie
We could probably do a watch party
parties.
one night.
Probably could. It's like we can watch some of those, but I'm going to warn y'all because we don't just watch any kind of horror movies. Every year I pick out at least one, if not more. Like the last couple of years with COVID and everything.
I got 4 great ones at home always, ready to go. And they're all part of the same story.
Does one involve a camp?
Yeah. And it goes, ah.
Oh my God.
Angela's a boy? That's part Robert Jenkins. Someone remember this movie to make a parody about it. If you know what that is, put it in the comments. I'm not saying it, but I got 1, 2, 3, and the one that's returned back to it.
No. So we can watch the movies, but we always at least pick one really bad one. So
Thanksgiving 1 and 3.
1 and 3, because the second one was too good to be a sequel, so they made it a third one.
Yeah.
What's this gravy? Extra small.
Condom?
Oh God, they're so bad. So we've what is it? Billy, you're my best friend. My best friend. We used to quote that one a lot. That was one of our favorite ones back in the day, but we always pick at least one bad one a year. Unfortunately, one of my buddies from Florida chose, what was it? Human Centipede one year.
Oh.
And so
No one wants human yogurt machine.
So we started watching that one the first time, and it was just him and I. And then we stopped halfway through because he was like, hold up. His boyfriend at the time is totally wanting to see this. So I was like, all right, so we stopped. And then
When I said that, he's gonna like,
yeah.
just beep it out. Like, he's like, my boyfriend's gonna really want to watch this because he loves eating ass.
So much so, it's like, this is going to really resonate with him. But
All the ass.
so we stopped watching it and we started trying to watch it a second time, and the boyfriend fell asleep on the couch. And my friend hadn't realized it, so then like halfway through, he was like, wouldn't you know it? He fell asleep on the couch. We're going to have to try this again. And I was like, I refuse to watch the first part of this movie for a third time. I watched Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman 11 times in the theater. I will not go through this.
Why?
Because of stupid stuff that happened. Everyone's like, hey, I'm going to a birthday party. Do you want to come? It's like, yeah, sure. What are we doing? We're going to the movies. What are we watching? It's like, we're going to go watch Van Helsing. Okay.
That's when you just fake sick. You're like, I got COVID.
Back in 2014.
I would say back in like 2002 or whatever, I've got COVID.
Yeah.
My bad bag. But
It's COVID. Don't worry about it.
I saw that in the theaters 11 times. I'll be damned if I'm going to watch friggin' Human Centipede
I mean, I saw
3
Blade
times.
a lot in theaters.
I saw that and
Speaking of, very, very briefly, apparently production's not going very well.
I mean, they got rid of their director, but that's not a big deal. It's so far out. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it, but I'm like, please make this good.
Well, I mean, She-Hulk kind of had maybe his son on it.
yeah, I'd heard that there was a kind of a call out to that on there. So
I'm not too worried about it. It's so far away, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I think that the werewolf movie is going to be a real lead into like your Dark Avengers and stuff, like where it's going to have Blade and stuff. I think that's where they're really going towards
push.
that.
Kind of Halloween-y.
well, no, I mean Blade. It's a vampire hunter.
vampire.
He's a dampier, so there's a difference.
He's gosh damn Daywalker, not Skinwalker. It's Daywalker.
Skinwalker. So yeah, we picked the really bad movies. I didn't get a chance to watch all of them last year, but you had Lamageddon,
Yeah.
Velocipaster.
Velocipaster is great.
That was the one that I didn't get to watch, unfortunately. So I had it on my list, but I was like, Killer Sofa kind of calls to me, so I'm gonna watch that one.
Or
first.
I mean,
Lamageddon.
I always got another great classic. I got Attack of the Killer Condom at home too.
Attack of the Killer Condom.
I got a whole bunch of the trauma movies at home.
Well, we can continue talking about this, but I'm gonna bring up this list here, and we're
Some
gonna
ninjas may die.
die. I'm going to look up a list here, and then we're actually going to put it up there for a poll for you all to choose which one you would like to watch with us, because these things are golden. Like, Rubber is great.
Rubber's so good.
It's-
just that scene where it like goes, it stops, and then just slowly turns around, and then the dude's head just.
You had that one, and then Black Sheep. What is that?
Black Sheep's good.
What is it? Is it ICM or something like that?
See dead people. That's Sixth Sense.
Thank you. No, it's
problem.
a specific channel that makes like the really
Oh,
bad
that was probably like Blumhouse Productions. They make
something like that. Black Sheep was so good. Like,
because before Blumhouse started making good movies, they made really terrible movies, and they would do like their Halloween movies, and it would be like 15 horror movies that came out every year, and they would sell that collection. It was always really shitty movies.
yeah, and well, so this one I will never make anybody watch because one, I don't think it actually exists anywhere that you can stream it, but two, it's really really bad, and it was the oh my god, Dracula's Guest. I found it on Sci-Fi Channel like at 4 a.m. one year, and I was watching it, and the girl who was like the love interest could not choose if she wanted to use an accent or not. So the boyfriend was Irish, so he was being like, you know, Lucy, I'll get you out of here, and she'd be like, no, don't do this, and I'm like, what?
Hey!
You can't go that way, and I'm like,
Oh no, it's Dracula!
Dracula. But like,
Gonna suck my blood.
and I'm not saying this in any way possible, like in a bad way, because I am a chunky girl myself, but Dracula was chubby.
He's been eating a lot. Like, you understand, like, as the world progressed, things like cholesterol, heart
feasting.
disease, fast food, fried food, it was happening. So when you drink those fat people's bloods, it's gonna hit you too. So I mean, he's just he got a little gain.
I am not immune
He's
to
drinking that
this.
blood right after somebody eats a Whopper.
It's like those guys that like drink protein shakes all the time, but don't go to the gym, so they just get fat from all the extra protein they're getting.
You mean like my brother?
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but sure.
It's like that one episode of What We Do in the Shadows where they drink the blood that they had drugs in it or whatever.
They get all fucked up.
It's like we had drug blood. Oh God. So yes, we choose the really bad movies that are really good to watch.
They're fun.
Yes. So we will definitely be doing some of that stuff.
There's no such thing as a bad horror movie, because it's either gonna be a really good scary horror movie, or it's so god awful that it's hilarious.
It's so
and
bad.
have fun with it.
It's just so bad that you can't.
This makes me think of all the movies that me and Nick Jacobs used to make at Best Buy,
Oh my God.
like Gay Zombie, or
I-
Frankenstein from Behind.
I forgot about that. Frankenstein from Behind. Oh my God. Ooh, we could watch an episode of Ghost Adventures.
We should just reenact the episode of Ghost
Oh, my
Adventures.
Whoa, it touched my shoulder. Oh.
You gotta wear the tight shirt and real loose pants, though.
What's in those pants, buddy?
And then just get pissed for no reason. Like, listen here, you ghosts. I bet you're not tough enough to come with... Oh my God, what was the noise?
We gotta, guys, we gotta
Run!
But who's gonna be Aaron? Who like freaks out? Like, oh my God, dude!
Tara.
I'm sorry, Tara. But we
So you're Zach Bagans, huh?
Zach Bilbo Baggins.
jeez.
Bilbo Swag.
This is the one show to rule them all.
It's my 111th haunt.
Oh my God, what does he say? I used to have his thing memorized because I have a guilty pleasure of whenever I'm editing or if I'm like drawing or doing something in the background, I will put on Ghost Adventures and just let it
I know
run.
we need a stream.
Oh Lord.
Ghost Brothers, where it was the black guys that went to haunted houses. It was basically the same concept as Ghost Adventures. It was all the same network and everything, but it was 3 black guys that would go in and they'd just, it's just like, oh hell no, we're out, and just run away. It was awesome.
You know, I'd thought about it, like, but I unfortunately, in order to get the discount, it didn't happen, and I don't think you can right now. But we are very close to a very specific building that is incredibly haunted and is a big attraction, which is Waverly. And they have it to where if you can get up to 10 people, it's $100 per person, and you can stay like from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. So
I've stayed the night there.
I have not stayed the night there. I went on a 2-hour tour, and it was so loud because you had 25 people in each one, and every single one of them chickened out, except for me and this random guy that we met on Xbox 360, because I went with her husband.
Yeah.
And so he was down doing something because his wife was a government worker, so she was coming down here to go into the government buildings. And he was like, hey, I want to go to a haunted house. And we were like, Waverly Hills, let's go. And him and I are the only ones that walk down the hallway, and people are like, oh my God, this is scary.
So I went, I did the whole, so some of the people I know that do haunted houses around here, they also did a podcast, Return of the Living podcast. And he worked at 107.7, so they had a group of people that were hosting to go spend the night, and they gave tickets away for it, so I got to just kind of sneak on and do it with them. It was neat, but like, most of it was a lot of BS. So there's like one point like, all right, we're going to talk to the ghost through our flashlight. And you could tell like he's unscrewed his flashlight battery like part where it was loose enough to where like it would barely make connection every now and then. So it would like flash on and off. And I was like, well, that's cheap. The only thing that was really cool that happened, and I still think it's just the wind. So you go into like the operating room.
Yeah.
And so the way the building works, it's like, you know, one big like semicircle kind of. But where the operating room is, it's on the opposite, on the very end of the hallway, but it's also at the end where all the wind blows into the room. Now, the only thing that I can explain is the door opened into the room, not out of the room. So we was like 10 people was in there just sitting, was like hanging out, seeing if anything was happening. And the guy got up and left. And as soon as he came back in, he sat down, and then that door slammed shut as hard as you could possibly slam it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know what would have made it, because like I was right next to the door, so he didn't do anything to the door unless they already had it set up. So
Killer Sofa.
we're gonna watch Killer Sofa.
Yeah.
Spaghetti Man.
Oh God.
What is Spaghetti Man?
Nope, I know the movie. Ginger Dead Man with Gary Busey.
Ginger Dead Man. What's that one Christmas movie? It was Goldberg that played like a killer Santa.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Silent Night, Deadly Night or something?
It might have been that, but Ginger Dead Man's great because it's Busey at his craziest.
Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter.
It's good. It's not really that scary though.
Yeah.
Evil Alien Conquerors. No, that one's... What is that? Wheels on Meals? It's a Jackie Chan film? No, we won't do that. So yes, there's a bunch of them on there. I will put a list up on them, and I will post like every day. That looks terrifying. But I will post something every day with like a trailer or a poster or something of the movies. And at the end of it, like once we've been able to post all of the movies that are out there that we would want to do, then you all get to choose which ones that we're going to actually watch, because these things are so bad they're awesome. Like it for Thanksgiving, no one's ever done a Thanksgiving movie before, like a horror movie, and Thanksgiving is the best one out there. So we're going to definitely have to watch that one because it's amazing. But other than that, what other movies that we can't probably watch on Amazon with people do you all recommend for Halloween?
Me?
Yes.
So by far my favorite horror movie, still hands down to this day, is Poltergeist. You can't beat the original Poltergeist. Great PG-13 horror movie. The shit freaked me out when I was a kid. Just that scene where he goes into the bathroom and he starts peeling his face off and ripping all the skin and stuff off. It looks terrible nowadays because you can tell it's like claymation and he's just like, ugh, and it's real bad. But when I was like 7, it was ungodly scary. Coach is in it, so that's all right, awesome. And I mean, it was a solid, good, scary PG-13 movie where most PG-13 horror movies are just trash.
You've got Tara over here just like shake her head no, like absolutely not.
And then you got the creepy, psychic lady. Come to the night. She saw her on TV the other day. She's like, she's so little.
Oh my God. That lady was everywhere, like back in the late 80s, early 90s. She did a special, like back in the day when they used to take people and like attach all the cameras and like microphones and stuff to them and send them into places like most haunted houses or something like that. They did one for Dracula's castle, and she was the one that entered or that made them like walk through the door. She's like, enter if you dare. And it's like, oh, you're so small and cute.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But
Poltergeist is probably my top of all time. It's just an ungodly good movie. And then the remake was just trash.
That seems to be with a lot of horror movies that happens. So
I've got a couple I like. Debatable if it's Christmas or Halloween, but it's both. The Nightmare Before Christmas is fun.
It's a horrible movie. It's a Thanksgiving movie. It's terrible. Next one.
I love it.
Is a Thanksgiving movie? Oh, we're about to like start a war here.
I can't stand that movie. It's the worst movie ever. I hate Tim Burton. Tim
I love
Burton's
Tim
trash. He can't make a good movie. I take it back. He's made like 2 good movies, and then all of his other movies are trash. Batman's great, and Canadian Bacon's great. Other than that, hot trash. He actually didn't even make Canadian Bacon. He just helped like produce it.
Oh, well, I like Danny Elfman, which he uses for his like soundtracks all the time. So
Yeah, that's not Tim Burton though.
I mean,
Danny Elfman always works with Tim Burton, but
Name a movie he didn't ruin. Charlie and Charlie Factory, god awful. Edward Scissorhands, dumb as shit.
thanks for this now.
Cry Baby, dumb as shit. Name a movie that's good that he doesn't use Johnny Depp in.
I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, there you go.
Okay.
But that, or if you want like an actual horror movie that I loved the series is Insidious. Any of the Insidious movies.
Is great.
Yeah, I really liked the. I started in the second one and then I went back and watched the second.
Tim Burton's
Or the first, I mean.
Just every time that we can, it's just like blah 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 blah.
I was at a bar once in Louisville, and there was this bum that looked like Tim Burton. I just kept calling him Tim Burton all night long. I think he probably got mad and left. I mean, he had the same hair. I was like, Tim Burton! But
Birdie!
Yeah, he's horrible.
No, Birdie, how do you doing?
Like, him and Zack Snyder are 2 people I just can't stand the way they make movies.
That one I can agree with. I've never really been a big
Zack Snyder made 300, and then everything else is he cracked up.
I can agree with that. I don't like the way that he kind of does his like slow motion stuff all the time.
Yeah, and how dark he makes everything.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, put a night and day filter on there. All right, put another one on there. One more. All right, let's put one more on there. Just there you go.
Just in case.
But you can't see them. I know, but then I don't have to worry about fixing the CG that I use because you can't see it.
What do you think?
I don't know. So I like The Conjuring. Mm-hmm. The second one was probably my favorite with the Crooked Man. But I don't like that one. Doesn't haunt me to where, like, whenever I watch it, because I love Patrick Wilson, like in anything that he's in, including Phantom of the Opera. So I don't know. Like, I think that one would probably be like one of my number 1 horror movies. But other than that,
Oh, one other show. It's definitely gets less scary as towards the end.
Friends?
A whole lot less scary. No.
my God, have you all seen the 3rd season?
No, the show gets less scary towards the end, but The Haunting on Hill House, the end of it was kind of
I
like
still haven't finished that.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. It was
Well-
the suspense and the thriller and all that stuff in the beginning half is amazing.
Well, I told Tara she needs to watch Midnight Mass because it was very good. It's not scary whatsoever. And then I started watching Bly House or Bly Manor
Yeah.
because I told someone because I watched it. And they're like, you really should watch Bly Manor before you watch Haunted Hill House because it just makes it a little bit better story. And like the story for Bly Manor is just you very much guess what's going on right off the bat. And then it just was so slow. Same thing, even Midnight Mass. I really liked it, but it was still slow, and you figured out what was going on like 2 episodes in, and then you got a whole episode where it's like, yep.
Yeah.
Haunting on Hill House.
You know what they do? It's the same thing as American Horror Story. You figure out what's going on in American Horror Story the second to last episode. Like everything happens in that last episode is just a trash episode that they make, and it's like, what's the point of this last episode?
Yeah.
It should have ended a week earlier.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's like I was a big fan of American Horror Story when it came out, but yeah, I will say the Haunting of Hill House or whatever it was, it's got some scares in it that's just like if you go into it thinking to yourself like, you know, oh, it's a horror show or whatever, so you know that things are going to pop out at you, you know, this is that and it's going to happen, and then you're like, oh, it's going to happen here. All right, well, I didn't do it. Oh God!
I like the fact that I know they hid a lot of ghosts in that show. So there's a lot of ghosts that you see that don't really interact, but they're just there, which is a neat idea.
Yeah. So it's not bad, but I don't know. Like, I've watched a lot of horror movies in my time, and I freaking love like Bram Stoker's Dracula with.
Love it.
I freaking love it, man. But it's like Winona Ryder.
You do love Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, who doesn't? Gary Oldman's amazing.
Yeah, Gary Oldman plays an amazing character. Well, yeah,
He's
on
a great
anything.
Dracula. He's a great white Rasta drug dealer. He's a great Sirius Black. He's a great crazy murderer guy. Cop, and just awesome all around.
Yeah, I found something the other day that kind of said a little bit more about like they changed a lot of scenes in that movie because of the girl that did the costume designs. Like, it didn't match what she wanted with her costumes, so like they changed the scene around for her because her costumes were like so iconic.
Did they change the Keanu Reeves vampire fellatio scene around? Because that's what really ruined that movie for me, is just seeing Keanu Reeves like, whoa, the vampire just going at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, no offense, because like Keanu Reeves is a great guy. Winona Ryder, she's Winona, but
Well, she got big because of Stranger Things again.
Yeah. Winona has a big brown beaver, apparently, if you listen to Primus.
Winona also is a kleptomaniac. She
fixed it. She doesn't steal things no more.
Her eyes make it look like she does.
No, she's probably drugged up.
Probably.
You can't be a young movie star in the 80s and not be a little addicted to some cocaine every now and then.
She legit looks like her eyes are wide open 24/7.
Look,
Like,
you
she's
take
scared
a
of
bump of
something.
cocaine when you're 60 years old and see how your eyes look.
But yes, like that movie, if it wasn't for Gary Oldman, I probably wouldn't have loved it as much because, well, you also had, oh my God, what is his name? Carrie, whatever. He was in Saw, the first one. And then he also was Robin Hood for Robin Hood Men in Tights.
He helped write the first Saw.
Well, he did himself a disjustice in that movie at the very end, wherever his wife calls and he's like, I swear I'm gonna kill you. And like she asks like if it's him on the phone, and he just like is looking down and he's like so pissed at whoever's on this phone, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then she says his name is like, John or whatever. He goes, Ali. And it sounds so fake. I'm like, oh man.
The Dracula Netflix show was good.
Which one?
The Dracula one.
I've watched a lot of Dracula. I think mine that I was thinking of, it was BBC, which was garbage.
No, it was the one that was actually on Netflix, and it started pretty good.
The fact that he's not very Dracula, that one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's getting a second season this year.
Saw. I ruined Saw for me. Not really. But I was joking around. When I first saw Saw, I was like, the guy dead on the floor is going to be the killer. And then just watching him, I was like, fuck, it really is the guy on the drill.
Damn it.
I was just being a smartass, not being serious. And it was like, well, I messed that up for myself.
Screenwriters are like, well, damn it.
Man, how do you see that coming? Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of the Saw series.
I like the first two a lot. And then I got tired of playing this game over and over again.
Paranormal Activity.
So me and Nick Jacobs, I think you went with us. I think it was you,
Yes.
Aaron Legg, I need to stop saying people's name on this.
Beep, beep.
Yeah, beep, 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 beep.
Name drop.
Yeah, we all went and saw it, and like, I didn't know anything about it, so I just went into it. I didn't even watch the trailer. I just knew it was a horror movie, but from watching it, I thought it was like a legit like taping of someone's like. So I was like, this is so insane. And then at the end, it was like, this is all made. I was like, oh, it's all fake. Well, that sucks. But I really do. I love that.
I
whole
think
story.
the only redeeming factor of Paranormal Activity was the fact that it was different than almost any other horror movie.
Well, it's
like
a solid story too. If you go through all of them and actually follow the story, it's a very good story.
Yeah. I think it was just very cringy eventually to how it was almost always reliant on those jump scares. That's the only downfall to that one.
No, because you start getting into like, what was the one where like
I saw the first two. That's it.
So I think like after the third or fourth, it didn't do so much jump scares. They actually started going like, you did one where you saw the Covenant of Witches and it kind of show you how they were created, and you saw like the guy version of it too. Like they did a really good job of like the later films making it more a story-driven psychological thriller instead of just jump scares.
That's good.
Yeah, 3 is where it starts getting into the family side of things.
3 had to connect.
Yeah. If y'all didn't know that, you can use your Connect to catch ghosties.
Or just stand there in a green suit and it still can't see you and you can catch yourself.
Oh, God.
I think it was just cool because it did look like found footage, which is kind of like the Blair Witch. Kind of like that was the first one. They did something like that.
That Blair Witch movie was so dumb. It was. I got so many friends who love that movie, and I'm like, this is the dumbest movie ever.
The whole point was it was supposed to be like that's kind of like that found
that one I
footage.
liked better because it was like a movie. It was like a documentary on it. I liked it better than like the.
Yes.
What is it that they do on South Park where he's like, I'm so startled?
Yeah. And then you had Not Another Scary Movie or whatever do it, and they had the like big snot bubble coming out of her nose and stuff. It was awesome.
Love it or hate it for Blair Witch, it started something.
Yes,
so,
it did.
So I guess you could say that one was kind of like the grandma of
Catalyst to like
those like fake
Mockumentary one?
Yeah, mockumentaries. Yeah, that was never something like I saw those. I didn't see the movie, but I saw it as a kid. Like Blair Witch Project, it's super scary, and I'm like, they're in the woods. I don't really care. That's
somebody's
whatever.
like backyard the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, like one that we haven't mentioned yet, you can't say like no to is The Exorcist.
I can't stand it.
Really?
It's not that scary to me whatsoever.
It's not scary.
Talk about the original one, like 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's dated.
Jabbing the cross in there and all that pea soup and all.
Yeah. The whole idea was the timing, because it was like just coming out of the 60s. People back then were like terrified of that.
I know, but it's just.
And my dad always
never
tells me
seen it.
the story of that movie when they went to go see it at the drive-in, and him and another firefighter just sat on top of the car and drank beer and laughed the whole time.
I do think it's got one of the best like horror movie posters of all time, where you just have the priest down there at the bottom stairs and the light shining on him.
Yeah.
It's a great movie poster for it, but I don't.
It was. I mean, it was a monumental movie for horror movies because it got them started. It kind of broke the water of like, how much can we push on television type thing.
My
That was
favorite
what it
thing
started.
is like they do mention the name of the demon that's in that movie.
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu! And like Futurama, that was one that they brought in there, and you see the professor like looking out the window because it flies like goes Pazuzu. But no, if you ever watch Ghost Adventures, that is the demon that they use, and anytime they say it's like, oh no, this one has been named out here, so we have to be real careful, guys. I'm like, it's like I don't do all that stuff. I don't look into that stuff, so it could be a real thing. But the way that they do it,
that's just
like,
what do you call a demon in Hell Talk is Pazuzu. That means demon.
Demon.
it's like, yeah, you don't talk demon. It's like Pazuzu. It's actually Dave.
My name's Dave. Dave the demon.
I don't know why everybody
Dave.
keeps saying it in like the foreign tongue. Just call me Dave. I don't speak.
How did we translate it for you? God.
I don't speak Infernal, so nobody here speaks Infernal.
No, there's a lot of movies, horror movies I could go on for days about.
I know.
I love all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, even number 2.
Evil Dead.
The great thing about Evil Dead is like they try to make a horror movie and they realize it was funny and they're like, all right, let's push that funny button. And then the new Evil Dead I actually really liked it, and I really wish they would have just finished what they were gonna do, because it had the best plot run where it was her Evil Dead, her being Ashley, was going to open another portal, and then he was going to have his Ash and her Ash meet up and have the last Evil Dead movie. So it was actually just an alternate universe that she was in. And that's why he was at the end where he was like, groovy. That was supposed to be them meeting up at some point. So
Yeah.
he was going to have... That was supposed to be... So you had Evil Dead 1, 2, Army of Darkness. That was technically Evil Dead 4. And then Evil Dead 3 was going to be Ash going into a new dimension. And then he was going to have Evil Dead 5, which was going to be her meeting Ash. And then he was going to finish with Evil Dead 6, with them like finishing it all off. And that's how they were going to number it really weird.
I mean, what's his name? The actor? I can't think
Bruce
right now.
Campbell?
Bruce Campbell. I just saw... Yeah. I just saw a short, because they're all over the place on Facebook anymore, but of him in another movie, and I was like, Amber, it's a terrible movie, but it was hilarious to see him in Sky High.
Sky High is great. First of all, Sky High is not a terrible movie. It is an amazing, amazing movie.
Oh, Lord.
What's wrong with Sky High?
Never seen it. Don't know.
Watch it.
If we're talking about the visual effects from another movie earlier, the CG for one.
It's a 30-year-old movie.
It's like Spy Kids.
It's a 30-year-old movie. You understand? Spy Kids came out early to late 90s when Spy Kids came out. So that's pushing almost 40 years now.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Lion King came out in 1994. We are literally on the 30th anniversary of it coming, or the 40th anniversary coming up.
Don't even. I'm not that old.
What?
30th for 94, but yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You can't complain about a movie's graphics that's 40 years old. That's like me saying, like, guys, Tron, that movie looks fucking terrible.
That movie
Of course it does. It's the first movie with computer graphics in it ever. Yeah, it looks like shit. But is it a good movie? It's awesome. Bruce Campbell as Boomer is amazing. You got Kurt Russell in the movie. Like, it's a solid movie all around.
All right.
Watch it.
I'll put it on my list to watch.
It's a good Disney superhero movie. Like, okay, so that's still
What,
right,
15? 15, 17? 17 years ago?
still though.
I mean, if you look at some of those other...
We're going to go ahead and say that it's still going to be great because Bruce Campbell's in it. So
I mean, you
I
can't...
knew you would like
It
it.
is a solid movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sky High is so good.
Okay. I will give it a shot.
See, you know what? You need to ease Tara into the horror genre, get her interested in like Bruce Campbell stuff, and then just start doing like...
No, there's no ease into it. You get full on horror raped if I want to get you into it. We're gonna watch terrible movies. First Insidious, Conjuring. We'll go that route.
First Insidious is not as bad as some of them.
First Insidious is great because it's a true
Yeah.
psychological mind freak of a movie.
Yeah.
Especially
You know
the
what?
way Tara dreams and sleeps and how she gets reacted to things. Getting woke up in the middle of the night, I'm just sleeping there. She's like, ladybugs! And then goes back to sleep. She would be screwed in that movie. 100%.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, never mind. Don't watch Insidious.
It's so dumb because they're so terrible for horror movies. The one I was most terrified of was The Grudge.
Grudge is a good one.
I hated that when I was a kid, and I was actually terrified of that one.
I got a new vote for shitty horror movie that we watch. Live stream with everybody. I'm sure we can stream it somewhere.
Okay.
Leprechaun 4, Lep in the Hood. Where he gets killed by them giving him a joint with a 4-leaf clover rolled up in the joint, and he smokes it. Please, let's watch that one with everybody.
I want to say that Djibouti did a Leprechaun movie, so I'm sure it's on Amazon to where we can do it. So, good God.
It is so good. Or Jason X.
So Leprechaun 4 is what we're going to be
Jason X is
doing.
pretty terrible too. He's cryologically frozen in space somehow or another. I don't know how that happened.
So there's some other ones like in there, like Dracula movies, of course, are always going to be like my favorite ones. I've seen almost every vampire movie you can possibly
Dead and Loving
imagine.
it with Liam Neeson. Not Liam Neeson.
Yes.
What's the old man's name? I can't think of
Leslie
it.
Nielsen.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
God, you know that so quick.
I love all of it. Naked Gun, Airplane, like all
Airplane's
of those
great.
movies. Yes. So like I will absolutely watch Dracula Dead and
Or
Loving
we
It.
can watch what was Eddie Murphy when he played Dracula?
Oh, like vampire.
Dracula in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
He eats the guys, and then at one point he's like, "I just had dinner." He's like, "I got something in my teeth," and he flips it like his tooth, and like a whole steak of meat comes flying out of his mouth.
No, there is a grouping of movies, and I want to say it was Gerard Butler's first film. I may be wrong on that.
I think his first film was Lara Croft, the second Tomb Raider.
This one came out before then, though, because Lara Croft was like middle 2000s.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Look that up. You got your phone. The first Lara Croft movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Dracula 2000.
Dracula 2000. And he actually didn't too bad, but
That movie's just terrible.
I had a problem with the girls. Well, like, not even the girls. Like, there was points of it where they would turn into vampires and they would say, it's better than insert thing here. So one of them like, it is better than chocolate. And then the one guy is like, it's better than money. It's like, why are you all, what is this thing that you're doing right now? Like, I don't get it.
Look, it was early 2000s. We thought Y2K was going to happen. We was like, all right, just write a script. Because, look, it's going to get deleted on January 1st, 2000.
Nobody will remember this movie.
Yeah.
So.
No, all right, so let's... Favorite Nightmare on Elm Street?
I'm going to make a comment.
If you say what I think you're going to say.
I've never seen them. I've never seen them.
How?
That pause and deep breath for a second.
How?
I've
Literally maybe the best bad guy horror movie character of all time.
I remember seeing one of. Oh, wait a minute. Did I see the remake?
Also, the first.
You saw the worst one. You're like, so anyways, let me tell you about Nightmare on Elm Street. You know the guy who played Rorschach from Watchmen did a terrible job.
I don't. It might have. No. Like, it might have been one of the newer ones of him because I don't think it was that guy.
We watched. I'm pretty positive we watched Freddy versus Jason.
It might have been Freddy versus Jason that I watched.
Freddy versus Jason.
That one was big.
Yeah.
It was great. That one was so good.
Lara Croft was 2001, by the way. The first.
So yeah, Gerard Butler's like 2000 was his first film, and apparently, what is it?
Hey, if you're gonna be putting stuff in here, pull a chair up and come be a part of the podcast.
What was it?
Mrs. Brown.
Mrs.
It's some
Brown.
romantic comedy, I'm sure.
Okay, well, the one that
Gotta have
I'm
a
going
start,
to
man.
count.
Somewhere.
No, I'm a huge Dracula fan. I will say though, like Dracula 2000 was. Dracula 3000, on the other hand, was amazing.
See, my problem with that is, you know who should have been Dracula in that?
In 2001?
No, in 3000. Andre 3000.
Oh my god.
Because it just fits.
He comes out of nowhere. Hey, yeah. Gonna suck your blood. Uh-oh.
Oh shit. Smells like blood, blood, blood.
Oh my god. I know.
How have you not seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
I'm sorry. Like,
Have you seen any of the Friday the 13th?
Yes, I have seen
Halloween?
the first. Yes, I've seen 3 and Halloween H2O. No, I've seen Halloween 1, 2, and 3.
She's just watching all the worst ones.
No, one's good.
I loved 1.
So, all right.
Oh, that's it. The one.
No, I watched H2O though.
So everyone hates the one where there's no Michael Myers in it, which is, I think, is 3.
Yeah.
I love it. Not because it's a good movie.
Don't get me wrong. I love it because it's not a good movie.
It is one of the darkest, most fucked up movies of all time. So all the kids who put on the mask, and they start singing the song and start like going crazy, they literally tell you in the beginning of the movie that once it happens, you die. So every single one of those kids die at the end of the movie. And they're just like, no big deal. We stopped it. But they don't talk about all like the hundreds and thousands of kids that just got killed because they were under this.
Y'all know those kids just died. Oh, what's the Trick or Treat?
Yeah.
That one with the little like pumpkin head kid and everything.
Yeah.
That's actually a really
What
good
movie
film.
was that?
Trick or treat.
Trick or Treat. Okay, I remember watching that, but
Yeah. Trick or Treat.
I remember for some reason I was really
Stood on the
tired
corner.
watching it and I had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
So I watched Children of the Corn when I was in first grade. I went to some girl's sleepover party and the parents were like, we got you all a scary movie. And we watched it. I remember sitting in my little like
I've seen her throat punch a
blanket.
person named Malachi before. It was crazy.
It's like I remember being in the first grade, like watching that. Just like we are in Indiana. I'm not gonna tell you where exactly, but we're in Indiana. You know what we are the state of? Corn. We have so many cornfields, and then watching.
I love it.
It's corn. It has juice. It was like we live in Cornfield Valley, so that movie was terrifying for me because I was like, oh my god, if I go up to like this area, am I going to be attacked by people like this? And where we lived for a couple of years, that is where that movie takes place. Like, I guarantee you, there's a house out in the middle of a cornfield, and I'm like, that's the house.
Malachi. I hated that kid's voice. It was like, you know who it sounded like from Cool Hand Luke, the warden. That's what that kid sounded like. And that, like, for the longest time when I was a kid on Guns N' Roses Civil War, that intro, I was like, I don't know who this lady is, but it's a great intro for this song. And I saw Cool Hand Luke, I was like, that's a dude?
Oh, God. There's a lot of horror movies out there, and a lot of them are good. A lot of them are bad. A lot of them are really bad. They're good.
Or the Halloween movies.
So
Actually, I really don't like Rob Zombie horror movies at all. Like, even the House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil Rejects, was never a big fan.
I was okay with House of a Thousand Corpses. I did not like all of his remakes. I will say, when we went to his concert, at the very end, the last thing that he did, I don't think he played a song after it. He played the trailer for it, and I was like, look, man, I ain't here for your trailer, for your Monsters show. I'm here for the music.
Was it the Monster trailer that he played?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, it looks okay, but it also looks like a Rob Zombie film.
Apparently it's real cheesy. And like Herman Munster's face like keeps moving around nonstop. So he never has like one just look on his face, and it takes away from it. And like it being in color apparently throws it off a whole lot. But apparently he wanted it to be black and white, and the studio wouldn't let him do it in black and white.
That he doesn't have any control over, but it looks weird. And like I like Rob Zombie a lot, but
I
Really cool guy and cool music, but
I hated his Halloween, and everyone's like, "It was so good." I'm like, you gave Michael Myers a backstory why he was fucking batshit crazy. Like his mom dated a bad guy and he was a piece of shit, so he killed him and he started killing people. I like the whole fact that Michael Myers was just a kid and then decided to start killing people for one day for no reason.
Yeah.
Like it was such a better way of like him being scary than like, oh, here's this kid from a broken home with a terrible stepdad influence, and he's gonna knife him to death, and then he's a crazy psycho patient, and just fuck that shit.
Now I will say something that we did not bring up, that if I remember correctly, for the new Evil Dead movie, was there not a guy that was in there that like kept getting messed up? And I mean like one thing after another.
It was Ashley. It was the main character. She kept getting hurt.
There was a guy I thought that was also getting hurt, and he kept duct taping like whatever was wrong. And then at one point he trips and falls into a puddle, like not even a foot of water, and dies.
Maybe, but I know she gets hurt constantly throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, like I just remember him tripping.
And that tree scene in the new movie is so like the old tree scene was, you could tell there was a guy just off camera just like.
Well, how they did it was they pulled it out.
Yeah.
And then they reversed the video to make it look like it was going whip. So.
But the new one was just.
You know, and something we haven't mentioned, which is probably what you're thinking of right now because of that
Probably
scene.
not.
Yeah,
But
probably
we'll
not.
see.
Silent Hill.
No, a great movie.
Yeah.
Another
like,
one where Sean Bean dies in.
Every single one of them.
everyone.
But the first Silent Hill movie was actually really
I like the second
good.
one better. The first one just didn't have enough of the story to it. It
I will
was
agree
really
with that.
good, but it was just like very like it was like here's 10% of what Silent Hill is. The other one like went way deeper into some of the stuff, and I like the pyramid head fight with the one chick and like him working the merry-go-round and stuff. Like I just liked it a lot.
I will say that, yeah, it had a lot more of the actual like storyline to it and everything like that.
Is that the one where you saw Pyramid Head's face?
No, you never see Pyramid Head's face.
Or, okay, what's the one where the girl just gets completely destroyed?
The first one where he rips her skin off.
Yeah, where he's holding
Gives
her,
her a
up, and
titty
he's just
twister of death.
No, not that. There's another
what I was
one.
hearing.
There's one scene where there's like
Did
you
it have
see-
Jon Snow in it?
no, you see the face of this monster. I thought it was a pyramid head with its helmet off.
Was that him in the second film?
Yeah.
My brain has been blown.
She's like, he's doing his last watch. To this night.
It's a scene. I don't even know. Then I can't remember off the top of my head. There's an image I got in my mind of just like this face with no eyes, just like these holes and like pretty much no mouth.
That's Stranger Things.
No, not that. But I'm almost 100%
Freddy
certain it was fuck, I don't remember. I have to look it up later.
Language. No, like I think Silent Hill. My big thing is I saw it in the theater because I was a huge Silent Hill fan. Like, well, I say I was a fan. I was terrified of the games when I was a kid. I made one of my neighbors play it, and I would sit there with my dad's razor and just like hold it up to the like TV because I was terrified something was gonna pop out of that TV and like kill me. Because like there's the ones that hide under the cars. I think it's in the second
Sounds like
one.
a camera.
Yeah. Whenever it comes out, it goes and it just skitters away, and every time it'd be like to the screen because I thought it was terrifying. But like, yes, that's right. I was that weird kid.
The squeaking with your laughing was the best thing.
I made my neighbor play it because he was much better at those types of games, and so me and his sister would just sit behind him and watch him play it. But like the Silent Hill movie, I when I went to go see it in the theater, I was probably the only one that lost my shit about this, but like there's the scene where it starts to like you start to first see the deteriorating part of the walls and like the sirens going off, and she goes down this alley and it takes a turn and it goes into like the first building that she goes
the
into.
ones that's like scene for scene from the game.
From the game, like that camera angle starts off to the right and kind of goes into her and then starts following her down, and I was like, oh my god, y'all even did the camera angle of that alley. Like, I am super pumped about this game now. So I was super ecstatic about that game. But Silent Hill was a good movie. Past that, like, we've seen a lot in our time.
Yeah, but you haven't seen the good ones. I've never seen a Nightmare on Elm Street.
I will watch a Nightmare on Elm Street.
So what other Wes Craven horror movies have you not watched? Have you seen like the original Last House on the Left? Where she bites the dude's junk off?
No.
Yeah. So.
Look, man.
Like,
I see
like I watch a lot of horror movies and I'm starting bringing up like the original I Spit on Your Grave. Amazing movie. The Last House on the Left, like, so the whole concept of that, like, these people, like, kind of break in their house and they start, like, torturing the couple that lives there. So, like, they kind of start fighting back, like, they're not going to take it no more. So, like, one of the guys is like, you're going to suck my, and she's like, okay. And then she starts going and just bites it off, and then they start, like, attacking the people who break in, and, like, it's a solid movie. And then they remade it, and, like, when you walk into theaters, they had a sign, like, there's a very graphic scene at the very beginning of this movie. It's like, it can't be worse than that. And it was probably the most realistic and terrible rape scene I've ever seen in a movie ever. And I was like, okay, yeah. So you all top the dick biting. Like, good job. y'all did it. I saw it with my mom. I was like, well, this is really awkward.
Oh, well, Mom. Close your eyes, Mom.
But like Wes Craven movies are great. Then you got like John Carpenter's movies. Like,
Yes. Yes. I love John Carpenter's vampires.
I like all of his movies because he does his own music.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's always real shitty synth music. He's like, ooh. Like, I just picture him, like, in his basement, real sweaty, just...
Writing the scenes to his movies. Like, you know what would really go good with this? Ding!
Yeah, just a little bit of that C right there. No. Let's change it up. Let's make it sound... Let's make it sound like it's a, xylophone. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Man, I am so awesome.
Just coked out of his mind.
The scenes are going to be real good.
But yeah, The Thing, like, that's one of the best remake movies of all time.
Yeah.
Is John Carpenter's The Thing is maybe, hands down, the best remake of all time.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, I liked the first one, but the second one, when I saw it, because actually it was in reverse. I watched the more recent
There's
one
three
first.
of them.
Okay, I haven't seen the third. I saw
So
the
you got the
original.
Kate Beckinsale one. That's the newest remake. Then you got the one with Kurt Russell, and that's a remake. And then there's one before that.
Okay, I've seen the last two then.
Yeah.
The one with Kurt Russell and then
The one with Kurt Russell's so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's so freaking amazing.
It is.
Kurt Russell
I've seen that
good.
Kurt Russell's great.
Yeah.
Russell's great.
Russell's great.
Russell roll.
Sprouts.
But for real, like, I love The Thing. That movie freaked my shit out too.
Which one?
The Thing.
Yeah.
And then the first Alien movie is by far a great horror movie that no one gives it credit because it's a science fiction movie, but it's an insanely good horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, just that scene
I think it.
where why can't I think of his name? The war doctor.
Yeah. Hurt? No.
Yeah, John Hurt.
Yeah.
When he gets the alien pop out, like no one knew that was going to do it, and the whole crash, that's the real reaction of being scared.
Well, because they kind of got splattered too a little bit.
But they know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was. Oh man, it was so good. And it's one alien coming after him the whole movie. Like that's what's really good about it. It's literally an alien. The
Yeah,
whole movie.
because that's what I was confused about back. Like
How the
in later
just
ones.
called Aliens.
Well, no. Later on, the couple other I forget movie numbers, but there was one where the Marines set up some turrets and they were killing two. They're killing them left and right and stuff. I'm like, I thought these things were like almost indestructible, and they were. Like originally, they were like these. Oh no,
They just didn't know about it. They were literally on like it was like imagine if someone had that alien on a passenger airplane.
Yeah, didn't
That's
really
literally what that was. It was a passenger spaceship with a homicidal alien on there. You don't really have weapons.
more like a hungry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did. I don't think I saw for some reason like the middle portion of that movie, but I saw like the beginning and the ending.
That's one of Bill Paxton's best movies too. He's so good in that movie.
You know who's really good in movies? Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
Not in Assassin's Creed, though.
The question is, was he good in it, or was the movie just that bad? It's the way I feel about Daredevil with Ben Affleck. Like Ben Affleck's a great actor.
It's true.
But
he
that
does
movie
a great.
was so garbage.
He
Like,
does a great Daredevil.
I still
but that
will
movie was still
like,
garbage.
did he get directed to be that bad? Like when he's like filling out his money, he's like, "That's a 5, that's a 10." And he's just like,
He's actually
"Hey,
acting.
I'm blind."
No, he's actually acting, and the guy, like the director's like, wait, Ben, too good. Like that's too good.
You're here.
I need
You're
you to come
Oscar
down
ready.
here.
We need to be like high school, like yearbook ready. That's what we're going for.
Like I honestly think that Michael Fassbender in Assassin's Creed, I think he just kind of didn't care anymore either. By his face, he looked bored.
There's like 2 scenes in that movie where he was like the very first 2 that he like did, and then afterwards he's like, oh, this movie's shit, isn't it?
I think when they put him in the actual like machine, in real life they had it inserted in him, and he was like, "I don't want to do this movie no more."
I don't want to do this anymore. It's bad. No. Speaking of like Michael Fassbender, I don't know why he reminded me of Tom Hiddleston. I saw something on Facebook the other day that it shows that he is
Crushes.
that he is. Well, Tom Hiddleston is different though. But like,
Definitely is.
look, I've said it
Just
before.
go on. Don't quit explaining. Keep going.
I love Loki, but I do not like the movie versions.
Just keep
Whatever.
going.
But he is reading the Winnie the Pooh book, like the very first A.A. Milne Winnie the Pooh books. And I was like, I'm a fan of Winnie the Pooh. I don't want to read this and be turned on by Winnie the Pooh, so I'm not going to be doing
Every
this.
time Nathan wears a shirt where his stomach's hanging a little bit, you're like, "Oh God, you're gonna get it."
Gonna get a little red shirt.
A little pressure. It comes in the room going,
Woo! No pants on. Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna wear an extra small. It's gonna be like,
He's just got a honey pot.
walks in going, oh, bother.
She's like, "How dare you come in here and honey dick me like that?"
I've heard you're hot and bothered.
Oh, bother.
Who's the Eeyore of that relationship?
Me.
Me.
But yeah, just kind of wanted to point that out. I don't know why Michael Fassbender like kind of put me into
Michael
that.
Smashbender? Is that what you're
Michael
about to say?
Smashbender.
Come on, you.
Yeah. He makes his own smash burger restaurant. It's called Michael Smash Burgers.
Yes. Michael
Welcome to Michael
Smashburgers.
Yes, please. What?
How would you like to smash?
Yes, please. Like, you didn't order anything. Yes, I did.
How would you like to smash?
Hard.
How long fries you want with this?
Extra crispy. As much white cream sauce as possible, please.
I want all of the Parmesan
Yeah.
on my fries.
I want all of the garlic oil.
Extra thick milkshake with 2 C's.
I want double straws.
Goes back there to grab all the food. He's like, why do people coming in here doing this stuff to me? It's every single one of them.
So anyways, we're talking about horror movies.
I'm going to name this one Michael Fassbender.
Beggar.
Smash Banger. It is
Just do Michael Smashburgers ?
We just talked about horror movies the whole time.
At the very end, it's like it has a little like where it shows you like the information about the episode just put on there. It's like, can I get my fries?
Just have like 2 seconds from this of us dying laughing in the beginning, and it's like
God.
soon to come.
I literally almost just died.
You got that in the like description at the bottom. Is like Michael Fassbender shake with 2 straws and
Extra
thick with 2 C's.
I like my milkshake like all of my girls. Yeah.
Oh God. So yeah, horror movies, Halloween, spoopy.
All right, so what's your worst horror movie though? The one that like you watch and you're like, I'm never gonna watch that movie again.
Dracula's Guest. Hands down. I don't even have to think about that one. I got like halfway through that movie and I was like, this is garbage. I will put up a bit of that movie, like the best worst scene, just to prove my point on this. It's bad.
I mean, without like going through like the normal like Trolls 2 and stuff like that, like I really think the worst horror movie I watched in a really long time was either the Poltergeist remake, it was so bad, or the newest Friday the 13th was pretty horrible. Actually, the Rob Zombie Halloween movies are just trash.
Bring that one back.
God, they're so bad.
It's like, look, I picked one that was supposed to, I think it was supposed to be serious, but it ended up being funny. His are just bad.
Honestly, I don't have to. We haven't watched horror movies in quite a while. I don't remember the ones I didn't like the most. But I mean, I've seen some really good ones, and I kind of just steered clear of the bad ones, honestly.
Yeah, you won't watch Killer Sofa with me.
Why won't you watch Killer Sofa?
Because they look.
I have so many better things to do in my life.
Just let him watch Teeth with you one night.
There you go. Yeah. Let's say yeah, and one that we haven't actually mentioned, and for us being big gamers and stuff like that, I'm surprised we've forgotten it. But Cabin in the Woods.
It's very good.
I actually really enjoy that one because it's got a lot of little Easter eggs.
That's one
and
I think
stuff.
Tara should watch because it's not super scary and it's just a good way of like them explaining horror movies.
Yeah, it plays on a lot of the tropes of horror movies. So you've got like the jock guy, the pretty girl, the stoner.
Just the unicorn killing the person is one of my favorite scenes, and him getting killed by a mermaid.
It's like, what was it? Like they had it on the board or whatever, and they were just like, "Hey, go in that one."
Yep.
That one wins. But it's actually a really good one. They've got some Left 4 Dead characters in there. They got
All right,
the
so
boomer.
my girlfriend's giving me the stink eye because she doesn't understand what we're talking about. So Cabin in the Woods basically is a ritual for the old gods. If they don't perform the ritual, they destroy the world. So horror movies are actually us releasing demons into these small areas, and they film the people getting killed as a like blood ritual for these older gods. So they literally have all the monsters you can ever think of, and they are taking bets, and one guy bets that he wants to see mermaids kill the people, and then all the monsters get released and he gets killed by a mermaid.
Nobody ever picks mermaids because it never actually happens. They're like, "Ah, man, this guy's gonna lose." He's like, "No, I've got a good feeling about this one this time," and it actually wins. They're like, "Holy shit, he won it this time! All right, go guy."
It's a great movie.
It is
It's
a
got
really
Chris
good
Hemsworth in it.
That's right, he was the jock.
And it was made before he was doing Thor. It took like 10 years to get made.
I can't remember the guy. I don't remember what he's been in here recently. That he was like,
Stoner?
yeah, the stoner. He was in something. And it was actually like really big here recently. But that guy was in it. It's a really good movie. I think that one's one that's good to start off with if you're not a big fan of horror movies. Cabin in the Woods.
Really, no. If you're gonna start watching horror movies, and you just want a fun one, and I've already said it once, Freddy versus Jason. It is such a good mixture of both Freddy and a Jason movie, and then it becomes just them fighting each other, and then just basically the movie's like, we stopped with a plot at this point, guys. It's just literally them beating the living shit out of them till the end of the movie, and it is so good.
Wouldn't you say, though, maybe just watching at least one Nightmare on Elm Street and then one Jason movie be good first?
No, because it does a good enough job explaining like how they do it. Because like Freddy doesn't have no powers because everyone stopped dreaming about him. So like he tries to kill somebody and he can't because he has no power. And then it shows like it explains Jason's backstory of how his mom, he died at a camp. His mom was the one that got him like killing first, and then he became a killer. So it does a really good job. But then like Jason starts killing the people before Freddy can kill him, so they get angry. So then Freddy comes out and starts fighting Jason, and it's just such a hilarious and then they were gonna follow it up with he was gonna have Michael Myers and someone else, and then he was gonna have Ash from Evil Dead do one, and they just never got to it.
Yeah, it didn't do as well as they had hoped, unfortunately.
But
That's strange too, because I heard so many people talking about that when it came out.
it's
like a
so
cult
good.
classic. One of those cult classic things.
And like all the Jason movies, there's a murder in every Jason movie that's great. You got like Jason Goes to Manhattan, the boxer, and he beats the shit out of Jason. He's like, "Oh, take your best shot." Jason's just like, dunk, and punches it off, and it goes lands in the trash can. You got the one where he takes him in the sleeping bag, slams him between two trees. Like, it's just always good.
Well, we're definitely gonna have to pick
I might watch Cabin in the Woods today.
We might. I'll find out what we have on Amazon to where you can actually do it on the to watch it with people. We can do that on Twitch, so that people can actually join in on it and everything like that, and make some stupid jokes
Did you
with
watch
us.
the new It?
I have seen the first one. I have not seen the second one. That is on HBO Max right now, and I have it for House of the Dragon, so I'm going to be watching that one soon.
It wasn't bad. The second part of It drags really bad.
Most of them as adults, though, right? So
Yeah, but I mean, they dragged it out.
that's unfortunate. But we will definitely be doing an Amazon watch.
I really wish
Party.
we had a camera on Tara over there, just see to her face as we talk about these horror movies. She's like, no. You're dumb.
Yeah. But we will definitely be putting that stuff up together. We're going to be playing some games. Like I said, that's probably just going to be us on Discord doing that one, so that we can just have the game up on the screen and doing that one together. Other than that, does anybody else have any announcements or anything like that?
Nope.
We're still going to be doing the food portion of it at some point.
Oh, I do want to start making nerd style cocktails. Me and Tara's been watching a Greg from How to Drink, and I really enjoy watching the show. And I'm like, he does some D&D ones and fantasy ones. I'm like, I can rip this off and do it for our channel. So,
Not ripping off, it's paying homage.
yeah, rip it off. I think he would appreciate me just saying I'm ripping them off. I don't think he'd get mad about
Being
it. The way he is.
inspired.
There you go, inspiration.
But yeah, I want to do it. I think it'll be fun. It gives me an opportunity to just go buy an old bartender, get up and just
So we did a couple of shorts. Yes, doing that.
Better curl the mustache.
yeah, just two of them at the same time. Just
So we did some shorts, and then they kind of stopped there for a bit because we got really busy with a couple of different things, and then of course Louder Than Life happened. But those will be starting back up. But definitely keep an eye out on our Facebook. Look us up on Nerding Out TV, and we will have the.
that's what we should have done. So you did Nerding Out TV, and I pull it out.
But we will be posting all the different ones that are available on Amazon for us to do a watch party with. We're also going to be showing off all the games that we're going to be playing once we finalize that. But keep
I'm
an
gonna
eye
throw
out.
some crazy ones at you all. You all don't even understand the amount of dumb horror movies I'll watch. You think she watches dumb horror movies?
It's like I watched the one that was the guy that fell into the sewer system whenever he was escaping jail, and then he turned into a poo monster. So I've seen some stuff too, but yeah, we'll figure it out which ones we can and cannot do. And then we're going to be playing some games. We got Phasmophobia with a couple of people, and then of course we'll get together as all three of us to do some games. I'm going to try and see about that Devour game because I really want to play that with all of us in here, just because I want to see what happens when we start burning books. So
I might try and buy the Massacre mixtape board game. We can play that too.
cool. Yeah, even board games. We got some. That's the one that you have. That was it. The House on Haunted Hill.
I got Betrayal.
Betrayal. Yeah, that's the one. So it was we've got a couple of different board games that we can play and everything
That would
too.
actually be a really good one too, because the way you break off, we can actually break off and have the person who's the betrayer read whatever they're betraying, and they come in and do their stuff. I like that game a lot.
Yeah. So we'll be putting a bunch of stuff together for.
If you want to do Betrayal, I'll go buy the D&D one. I'll buy the.
There's a D&D one.
Yeah, and you're in Waterdeep.
Ooh.
No, you're not. Baldur's Gate. No,
One of the major
it is
cities.
D&D based. I just can't do this.
It's Baldur's Deep.
Helm Deep.
But we're going to be putting everything up on Facebook. Be keeping an eye out on all of that stuff. Otherwise, keep an eye out for October. We're going to have a lot of cool stuff going
I
on.
thought you was gonna go full Joe Dirt. Just keep on keeping on.
Keep on
Liza
keeping on.
Garden, just dig it.
Keep on keeping on, y'all. We will see you next time. Bye. Keep on keeping on.